when you guys initially sat down, you're talking about a 2-year trial program and then trying to develop some kind of an actuary or some kind of a history of what it's going to project for the next 3rd, 4th, and 5th year. With a 2-year pilot, how accurately can we project if a lot of members or a lot of people are going to sign up in that 2nd year, and these people not having insurance, have they had enough time to develop behaviors that we can study insurance needs in the future? Have they had enough time to develop certain health behavior patterns, and how can we accurately predict 3rd and 4th and 5th year?
Well, we certainly have used actuaries or have relied upon actuaries in the development of the projections that you've already seen, and they utilize information from states that have extended coverage to additional populations, as well as from the 1.3 million people that we serve on the TennCare program, the groups of those individuals who are similar in some ways to these folks. So I think we have very educated projections at this point in time, but after 2 years, and having projections that we'll be able to make on actual experience, I think that would be something that actuaries, Casey, you can chime in, would be very comfortable with.
And frankly, too, I mean, that's why you want to contract with folks that have a broad experience. We mentioned other states, but also patterns of utilization over time, because you can start to see leading indicators of populations as they come in that can help you with the other data points to see what are those patterns that may suggest that. So you can actually start to get ahead a little bit of that actual experience as well, just by looking at the patterns and having that experience of completing that. But it's an excellent question.
Well, in that 2 years or in those studies, is there any indicator of what number of people that fall within that 100 to 138% of poverty level that might currently have private insurance drop their private insurance and move to the expanded plan? And I'll give you an example. My wife and your wife work together in a clerical position. They would qualify for the plan. If your wife has private insurance, and after a year or two of seeing my wife with $8 copays and without a high deductible or whatever, eventually it's going to want to switch plans and go over to that plan. So what number of people, I guess, already have private insurance can we expect that would want to switch to the Insure Tennessee plan?
I don't have those particular figures with me right now. That is something that we've been contemplating and working with that. So if we could, I'd like to share that information with you when we have it. But I understand the question.
Thank you.
It is.
You know, one of the concerns I have, I like the idea that when you sat down and you were pitching a 2-year pilot that we can back out of, a 2-year pilot that we can get out. I know we've had troubles in the past, and I know politically, morally, ethically, it's going to be difficult to back out of the plan. But then when I heard the opinion that it would be an administrative decision to back out if that needed to be taken, I have the utmost trust and confidence in this administration and in this governor. But we don't know who the governor is going to be in 4 years. And that's what scares me is when the federal government wants to start making changes to a plan or for that matter, when the administration wants to make changes to the plan and the legislature be left out in the cold on those decisions. Is there any mechanism that could be put in place or that is in place that gives the legislature some kind of oversight?
Well, 2 things on that. Number one reason we proposed a 2-year pilot is because Governor Haslam will still be in office. So that was one reason we wanted to. He wants to make sure and take the burden, if you will, of making the decision at the time. Ultimately, you all have the oversight. You can do anything you want to get out of the plan. So you all could come back and say, even though Governor Haslam thinks it's successful, the legislature can come back and say, we don't think it's successful, and it's time for us to get out of the plan.